Hello, everyone. Dr. Allen here. Hope you're having a great week. Great start to the semester. A few things. One, forgive me if I look a little informal. I'm recording this the week that I'm leaving. I want to make sure to get this out to everyone, so I'm doing it. I'm a little off my schedule. I was also working on my presentation, which is about teaching West Virginia history. I had my West Virginia thinking hat on, so forgive me, but I think you'll probably be okay with it. Um, I wanted to get this out to you. So I say I'm going to keep these videos short, and I know the first two have been longer than I promised. So I want to just jump right in. So this week, what we're going to be doing. One, we're going to be working on Google Classroom. Everyone, hopefully, last week created their Google account. If you didn't already have one, you'll definitely need that for this week. We're going to talk about HyperDocs, which that's pretty straightforward, but still, I want to make sure that I tell you what that is in case you ever hear that buzzword. And also Quizlet. Quizlet is another thing that we're not going to get too bogged down with it, but I at least want to make you aware of it. I have a feeling probably most of you are familiar with Quizlet anyway, but it connects nice to Google Classroom. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. Um, your readings will be Tech Like a Pirate Chapter 2. And again, just like last week, you'll have a blog reviewing Google Classroom, discussion 3, and you're going to create a Google Classroom, which that's the big thing. So with that being said, um, I'm just going to jump in. Don't really even have a PowerPoint or anything this week because I think a lot of the things that pertain to Google Classroom, well, let me rephrase that. A lot of the things that pertain to the websites pertain to Google Classroom. It's a learning management system. It gets announcements out. It does all that. And that's one reason why I was kind of stressing Google Sites instead of Weebly or anything like that. Mainly because I think there's a better chance that you're going to end up using Google Classroom than you will any website. So, like Weebly or Wix or anything like that at this point. So, if you use Google Sites for your website and store things, you kind of already have it and you can connect it very easily to Google Classroom. So, with that being said, let me at least just go ahead and jump right in. Now, to access Google Classroom, pretty simple. I'm going to actually get out of that. I was fiddling around with it a little bit before our class. But once you get in there, you're going to log into Google. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Google. It's been a long day. You're going to log into Google and you'll get your little symbol. Mine's just a J for Jason. And you should have your little waffle up here. You're going to click that. And when you go down here, you should have something called Google Classroom. Now, let me say this. I don't know if some of you have used Google Classroom before as a student or just instructionally. What you get with the free Google Classroom is not quite as many bells and whistles as you'll get if your school district uses Google Classroom, but that's okay for what we need to do today. No big deal. Now, what is Google Classroom? These are some prior ones that I had. This is one that I've made, excuse me, earlier. And there's a few things that you can see on here. You can link a lot of things. Your class code is there if you need to share it. You can just click right there and send that. And that's one thing, in case I forget to say this as I buzz through this, when you submit your Google Classroom, you can either send the class invite to my email, or you can just submit the link or the class code on a Word document and submit it on Brightspace. Both work. If I have any trouble accessing it, I'll just fire you an email. And don't worry, I'm glad this actually popped in my mind. Sometimes when I can't access something, I'll throw like a score out of 10 of 6 or 7. Don't worry, it's just a placeholder that usually count. It catches my eye that I need to follow up with people in case I don't get the information. But that's basically how you share it. Uh, Actually, what you want to do, I'm going to get out of this for a moment if you don't mind. I wanted to show you that. I'm going to go back to our waffle board. When you come to this screen right here, I'm waving like you can see me. I'm in front of you. There's a plus sign right here. You're going to click that and you can join a class, which if you send me your code is what I'm going to do. But what you want to do is create a class. And we've read everything. We got you, Google. You're going to name your class. So I might do American History, 8th grade. And section will be 1, subject would be social studies, boom, and room 101C. That's my office. And it's going to create it. And as you go through this, as you can see, it's lightning fast. Now you can do a lot. I'm not going to do all this for you, but you can definitely customize it and change all the colors and upload photos and put things on there. You can do all that. I think that's honestly, I think that's half the fun, and you're welcome to do it. You can select a photo. They have someone here, so why don't I? I said I wouldn't. Let's pick that one. I love it. It's great. So there it is. And my color theme will be green, and we'll save that. And we're there, and you can see it's all there. Now, there's a lot to this in terms of what it can do, but it's not hard to use. One thing you're going to have to do for me is make an announcement. So all you have to do that is click here, and you can say, welcome to the class. I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but that's what I'm going to do. And post it, and it's there. So you can do other things. If you go to classwork, you can create classwork, and you can do an assignment. You can do a question. You can do repost, quiz assignments. I'm just going to click assignment. And I'm going to say that you're going to watch. Whoops. Sorry, my Mac was acting all weird. Watch video and answer questions on the long title, but that's all right. And then I could do that, but we'll just say the same. Why don't we just put the same directions? I probably should have just titled it like Lincoln, but that's okay. And as you can see down here, you can attach a lot of different things. I'm going to talk about Google Drive here in a second, but if you click, you can just go to YouTube. I'm scared to see what's on my YouTube half the time because we watch a lot of goofy stuff in my household. Not a lot of things on roller coasters and all. My son and I watch them if we go to parks, but that's all right. So let's just do it. I'm not going to be picky about which one I'm actually doing. We're going to do the Lincoln trailer, and I'm going to add the video. And, and the questions, I'll show you how I would add them here, but just to kind of get it, you can do all this. You can select your due date. You can attach a rubric and you hit assign. These are all things you can do with Google Classroom. And it's there. And actually, it should be there. And it even puts an announcement up for you. So your students would get all that when they're enrolled. When I enroll in yours, and if you would keep using the class, I do get the announcements. I usually unenroll at the end of the semester because some people have actually kind of built stuff up in it. That's basically the building of Google Classroom, and you just keep adding to it. Now, there's a lot more you can do. So if we go back to the waffle, there's a lot of cool things here. Of course, Google Drive there where it stores all your artifacts. Like when I click mine, it's like the OneDrive. It's a cloud. That's basically what it is. As you can see, there's a lot of things that I've used in here, but I'm not going to switch at the moment. It's mad at me. I'm in Safari. But if you go down here, there's a lot of things like Docs, Sheets, Slides. Slides is like Google PowerPoint. Docs, of course, is like their Word, and you can actually convert things to that. There's Jamboard if you're the math teacher. We'll take a quick look at all of these, but really, the first thing I want to say is I mentioned a HyperDoc. In case you don't know what a HyperDoc is, this is totally a Dr. Allen definition, and I'm sure someone who is more tech savvy will give you. Well, I'll say this. I don't want to say tech savvy, so you're not scared. Does he know what he's talking about? I think I do. But someone that is a little more into the building of what these apps and technology do. Basically, what a HyperDoc does. A HyperDoc, basically, it's almost like a live document. Like you can make changes to it and it remembers it and it auto saves, and other people can work on it at the same time. So, for example, like I had to teach one time a live section a section of language arts when I was doing middle school. I have an English minor. When we would do the writing process or do editing, my students would go into Google Docs, and you've probably done stuff like this too, but when you click on it, you go on there and you can type. And if other people are working, if you've shared the document up here, if students have shared it with other people, everyone can type. So like maybe there's question one, we were talking about the Lincoln document. Question number one, and then question number two. Students can kind of tackle this separately, and then they can answer the question. So like when Jimmy's answering number one, Jenny can be answering number two, and then they all have access to it if it's shared. You can also not share it, but there's that. So it's a workable live document. It also auto saves and it'll go right into the Google Drive. So if I did Lincoln questions, I'm going to show you something here in a minute. That's why. What number president number? What number president was Lincoln? All right, so I'm just going to save that. I'm out. I'm out of it. Boom. All right, now I'm going to go back to my class. Let's go back to classwork. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to edit it real quick. I said that there was questions on there, right? So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. And there's Lincoln questions. I can add them. And they're there. So now when I send it like that, it locks it for each student. And I'll just get their version of it. But you can add the questions right there. And students can view file. Students can edit file. So that's probably something I want to do. But you can also upload anything up on the assignments, things like that. I want to save it. Let's put a due date on there. It is due 30th. And we'll save it. It's pretty straightforward. I did want to make note of a few other things with Google. Google's actually a pretty, I will say this, I think Google's a nice thing because it's pretty simple to use and it has a lot of features. I'm all about not reinventing the wheel. But if you look, Sheets is like an Excel program. Slides is their PowerPoint. A lot of people like to use slides. A lot of times when I put students in groups, they would all work together and do things and work together on a slide. Some would take a different part of it. Like if they were doing the regions of West Virginia, since I'm talking about West Virginia this week, one might take the Potomac section, one might take the Allegheny Highlands, one might take the Allegheny Plateau, and one might take the Ohio River Valley section, and they might all do the presentation and work on it like that together. And then, of course, submit it or turn it in or share it with me, which you can easily do if you go to the Google Drive. And let's just click that right now. And just showing you some of these features. I'm sure you probably, most of you, I have a feeling, probably use Google at this point. Which I say I'm going to open it. Computer's had a long day. It's been working hard. If I hit share, it's on there and it should like let me type in whoever I want to share it with. There we go. And you can do that. There's me, I'm the owner, but you could share it to a class or anything like that. You can look for people. So pretty simple, pretty simple. You can also copy the link. But let me get out of there. Another thing I wanted to show, I have a feeling, again, I say that I feel like everyone's seen this, and then sometimes people haven't. So I want to make sure that you at least are aware of it, especially you math teachers. I know a lot of math teachers really like Jamboard. And Jamboard, I have to admit, I never really used Jamboard too much just because, one, it got more popular when I was not when I was leaving the field. But as you can look here, it's basically like a whiteboard. I'm a little rusty. There we go. It's erase, but you can see you can get like an erase on there, but you can write on here. And if you have students live, like on a Zoom class, or you can share this, let's just clear it. I think it will clear. There it goes. You can insert pictures. Actually, and I say math teachers, you can put artwork on here and have students comment on it or images. And again, this works just like a hyperdoc. Anyone can type on it if you give them access to it. So that's pretty much Google Classroom. Like I say, well, let's just do, I do that 2 plus 2. You can tell my math skills are very high. Equals 4. And you can do that. You can set a background and clear. But definitely, I have a video up on Jamboard if you're interested in it. It's pretty cool. There's no assignment with it this week, so I'm not going to, require it or anything like that. But just wanted to make you aware. The other thing that I wanted to kind of throw out there was Quizlet. Again, this is something I take for granted. I think a lot of people know about Quizlet, and there is actually something called Quizlet Live, which almost works like a Kahoot, but I'm just worried about Quizlet right now. And it's basically something where you can make flashcards, you can load up PDFs with the Create. If you look here, you can create study sets for your students. You can import with Excel, docs, anything like that. And actually, that's pretty simple when you do it. Um, I might actually have something. Let me see that I could use to show you. Be nice if I did. Hold on. For example, this is a mess. Forgive me. This board's a mess. Oh, I was looking for something that I had here that I was just using. Yeah, that's it right there. Let me get that open. If you look there, oh, look at me. I already had it highlighted. All right, pull that back open. There we go. You go there, you can actually paste words. I'm working to something here. When I do that, you can do this for students and you can actually share it. As you see, it'll do a preview and it'll put all of the questions and the answers right there. Now, I'm going to actually cancel all this because I've already made that. But if I go back home, I'll show you what it does. This might be something you want to do if you're taking a history class or science class and you have to just have some memorization things that you have to do. But when you go in, you can learn with flashcards, you can learn with, there's tests, there's other things. My son's a big fan of it. He likes to use it a lot. I think most people are familiar with it, but you can just hit there, the highway from Route 50, 7 years war. That's all in there. And you can actually add all this stuff to Google Classroom and share. You can actually just post it as a link. You can actually embed it in there. As you can see on the one, there's different things you can do. Google Classroom has a lot of pretty cool features. Let me go back in here. Let me go back to my stream. If you go to my world history class, I actually have a Quizlet that I actually embedded as an assignment in there, I think. Yep. And you can do that. And actually, I'll send that video because I know I'm getting a little long, so I don't want to throw too much out at you. But if you're interested in embedding some of the Quizlets and all in there, that's pretty simple too. But what you need to do is this. Let me go back here. Right there. Go to Google Classroom. I'm going to click on that. And I think I actually already opened it. Your assignment this week, pretty straightforward, I think. You're going to view a video on Google Classroom. I posted some YouTube videos if you want to, because I know sometimes I get a little chatty. You can definitely check it out. Make sure you know how you can create a Google Classroom. You go create your account, you hit the waffle board, you go down the Google Classroom, you hit the plus. You create a Google Classroom space centered around a class you may be teaching. Please make it something that you think you might be teaching. If you're not in the field, or it doesn't, I'm not going to go out and check everything, but if you're teaching math, maybe do a page on algebra. If you're doing elementary, maybe you want to have, you can just make it your elementary home page or your home room. You could do one on science, whatever, just some academic type area. Once you've created your classroom, I want you to do this for me. Post one announcement in your classroom, embed a YouTube video on it. I don't care if it's in the assignment or if you embed it in an announcement, whatever, as long as I can see a YouTube video that you have in there. Then you're going to create an assignment in a HyperDoc. You're going to get the Word document or the sheets or the PowerPoint, and you're going to post it into your website. I would probably just go with the Google Doc and just attach it in there. Basically, it can be anything. It can be a sign-up sheet for lab. It can be a sign-up sheet for a project. It can be a brainstorming activity, anything like that. It can be an announcement. You could just say, hey, what do you think is, answer these questions, whatever. It could be, could I just get some general ideas on what you think of this image? And everyone's just typing the response. That's fine. Those are the things that I need. Basically, I need to see an announcement, a YouTube video, and I know I say a HyperDoc. Really, I just need something attached from the Google Drive. If you can put something on there, that's one of the big ones. It can be a Jamboard. That's fine. If you really want to impress me and throw a Quizlet on there instead, that's fine. But I want to see something attached from a drive or from an outside source besides YouTube and such. Send me the link. That's the assignment for this week, for the tech assignment. Once you've done that, there's some West Virginia facts for you if you are into that. Come on, computer. All right. Once you've done that, make sure you blog if you like Google Classroom. You can just say, I like Google Classroom a lot. It's a lot easier than the website. And I know the websites sometimes are not everyone's favorites. That's why I do them first. They kind of knock them out. Uh, or you can say, you know what, I don't like Google Classroom. That's fine. It just needs to be a sentence or two for the blog. For the discussion, it's related to your Tech Like a Pirate work. And this one is about chapter 2, but it's going to talk kind of about good teachers steal, good teachers borrow kind of thing. They throw up a lot of different apps that you can use. Like, for example, you can actually create things. One that I used to use, and I might show it to you next week so I don't take up too much time today. But one that I've used in the past is Facebook, and it's actually, you can find templates called Farcebook templates, and you can build things with it. Actually, I'll make sure. Did I might have even put the example up here. No, I didn't. That's okay. No big deal. I'll show you later in the class. It's nothing groundbreaking. But can you think of an app that you could adapt and make into a classroom exercise? Let me just show you. I feel like I'm throwing this out and not out there. But for example, like I use Farcebook. I've used Twitter templates before. He has a whole bunch, and just how you would do that, that's Facebook, not Farcebook. Farce. And Farcebook is like, there's templates. Let me see if I can find a template for students. Get out of the way, Jason. There's ones if you see it for Google. I just saw them for Google Slides. If you go on here, there's different things you can do. I'm going to hit the old image tab. And what they are is students actually do things, and they make Facebook pages for like historical figures, for authors, scientists, mathematicians, things like that. And there's cool ones that are all around. But basically what I want you to do is just think about an app that's mentioned in the readings or just in general. There's the templates. And just say whether you would potentially use it or not. If you don't want to respond to the discussion, I might have a solution for you. Check out the apps that he talks about in the readings. Check out, again, those templates. I'll send a few that'll be posted also if you want to look at them. I'm recording this a little bit before everything's built. And then you can actually complete the template if you want and just post that as your discussion. So basically you have a choice. You can either do a template and post it for discussion 3, that's recommended. Or you can just say, man, I thought this one app that he talks about sounds pretty cool. I think I could use it this way, this way, this way. So hopefully that all makes sense. By the way, there's a whole bunch of apps on this. I always mess it up. Symbaloo. You can do that. And here's some other education apps. You're welcome to check them out and just say if you would use any of them. Simple as that. You may already be familiar with them if you've been out in the field. So Google Classroom, blog 3, discussion 3. Those are your assignments this week. One other thing that I'll be talking about next week, it was on last week. I just got long-winded. I do want to talk about 21st century skills. That's something that's going to come into play when you do your brainstorming activity. That's way down the road, but I put it off last week and I want to make sure to get back on it. But I thought this week there's more than enough for you to do. With that being said, I hope I didn't babble too much. There are always YouTube videos up here. I've seen a lot of you in the hallways. Thank you for stopping by and saying hi. I know a lot of you already anyway, but you're welcome to swing by my classroom. Just because we're asynchronous doesn't mean it's my obligation to help you. We can do stuff face to face. Please stop by 101C or just fire me an email. That always works too. Work so far has been great. I'm going to move my face over here so you can see everything. But that is the week, and I'm going to stop my share, stop talking, and I'll talk to you later.